Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Palantir Technologies for sure is holding a very, very good support level at the $30 price zone. We're going to be talking about why this is incredibly important, especially as we are creeping up to that Friday jobs report, which is going to have a large indication on how the economy is currently performing, which can change our probabilities of those first interest rate cuts. Now, the market right now is pricing in basically 100% probability we're going to see the first interest rate cut come September. The bigger question right now is how many cuts are we going to get by the end of the year, and how big is the first rate cut going to be? We're going to be talking about the broader market and historically what we've seen in September, typically red for the S&P and for the NASDAQ, and what's been happening with NVDA. A lot of things to pay attention to. So if you are a new or returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Pop it up on the screen here. Palantir Technologies closes here at 30.60 and in the after hours at 30.53. We basically see straight consolidation on the day, and if we look at the market here, slightly closing in the red, but ever so slightly. So going back to Palantir here, you can see we've had important reversals that have been triggered at the 30. We want to see a continuation of this. If we do not, and we see some bearish macroeconomic data that comes in along with the jobs report that does not align with the bulls in the market, we could possibly see Palantir that comes back down here to the mid-20s. We're talking support here at the 25s, 26 area. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but this shows you the resilience that right now that is occurring in Palantir Technologies. And in terms of the options, just what we've seen for activity today, a decent amount of call volume at the 31. Looking and toggling over here, specifically what we've seen with NVDA, also holding levels steady here in recent times. Now, with the Tuesday market open, we saw NVIDIA that fell over 10%, including the after hours. We now see only down about 1.6% of the day, not as strong as we saw the previous trading day. Will the $100 be tested for NVIDIA? Now, going back to Palantir and what we're seeing in the media, talking about here an AI stock that has broke the internet this week. I don't know if any of the AI stocks or the tech stocks specifically have really broke the internet this week, but talking about how AI has really been incorporated into our daily lives and how a lot of companies are taking advantage of not just Palantir, but AI stocks in general. One thing that we do know for sure is the number of hedge funds, and this is showing me that more institutional investors are coming on board with Palantir. And the reason why is I think they're starting to see the potential exposure that Palantir can have to a wide variety of clients with AIP, and we're seeing the increasing and building upon its governmental avenue. We've seen this with contracts that are continuing to be established, and overall right now PLTR ranks 10th on the list of the AI stocks that broke the internet this week. So even though we've seen a reduction in the market capitalization for some of these tech stocks, Palantir is still doing well. And talking about what Motley Fool comes out here, talking about why Palantir stock rallied 17.1% in August. Now, one of the fears that we've seen is the possibility of a recession. And the government and the market is always trying to headline and time out this soft landing. If that's going to be true and to come into fruition, that will be great, but only time will tell how much of a soft landing we actually have. However, even though we've seen uncertainty in the market, Palantir still reported a great earnings report. And we saw that here with revenue growth 27% overall to $678 million, adjusted earnings per share that rose 80% to 9 cents, and that Palantir has really been a leading competitor within this industry. And that's the question, is Palantir just getting started? However, one thing to take with a grain of salt is we're going to be talking about this in just a few moments here, that it does trade at a high premium. A lot of the AI stocks do, and specifically NVIDIA trades a very high premium right now. However, we're seeing that valuation that has been held up high for a long period of time. So the whole basically justification or the reasoning behind the valuation is kind of being thrown out the window right now due to the AI boom that we're seeing in general. And that's how we kind of transition to what's happening in the market right here. We're seeing this sluggish start to September that does continue. Now, we've talked about this in the previous few videos that historically September has not been the best month for the broader market. Typically, it does close in red. Will this historically repeat itself? It's only 4 days into the month, guys. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but things are so far starting off in the decent red with a little bit of a pullback in the market. Consolidation today on the broader markets and on the broader indexes. We're seeing here the sharp pullback that's really kind of leading into a domino effect and the uncertainty with how the AI industry is performing. That is NVDA. And with the subpoena that we've seen, we saw NVIDIA go from the 130s down to the hundreds right now. Like I said, tomorrow will be important, and especially Friday with that jobs report is going to be incredibly important. A lot of eyeballs will be looking at that. Now, in up and the down trading session right here, we're seeing the 2-year treasury yields that are actually dropping 12 basis points to about 3.7%, 3.76%. This is the lowest level since 2024 as we're awaiting that jobs report. One of the big things that also we are anticipating is that first interest rate cut. Right now, the markets are moved to price in nearly a 50% chance, this is pretty big now, that the Federal Reserve slashes its interest rate by 50 basis points by the end of the September meeting, up from 38% chance from the day prior. So the market is starting, hopefully not to get ahead of itself, by pricing in not just a 25 basis point cut, but up to a 50% chance now for a 50 basis point cut. And this leads into the other big piece of uncertainty with NVIDIA. Market cap's now around 3 trillion. But with the company falling now to about 460 billion just in terms of valuation in the previous few days, putting that in perspective, that is the market cap of the UK's biggest listed company. And that's just the size of this recent price fall that we've seen. So you got the demand for AI that is still continuing to sit at these all-time highs with the anticipation of interest rate cuts. However, looking at the bears right here, one of the big things that Goldman Sachs, and this is where it does get a little frustrating, because they suggest that AI may not be quite as a game changer as the headlines do suggest. Is this another dot-com boom? Is it another dot-com bubble? That is what the biggest question I think on the table is, and only the next few years will tell us. I want to know, what do you guys think down in the comments? Let me know in the description. Let's talk about everything regarding this situation. Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys later.